Hi, my name is Mandi Cornett, and I am sitting in the parking lot of the Kmart in my local vicinity because my house is absolutely crazy. The Christmas season, Advent season has started, and I don't know about you, I'm at breakneck speed, and I need a little bit of hope. Hope is such an interesting concept, and honestly, I can easily reduce hope to wishful thinking. Like on Monday morning after Thanksgiving, when I hopped on the scale and I hoped I hadn't gained any weight, as I hoped my house wouldn't get crazy this afternoon, I wish that things would go smoother in the month of December. I hope Jesus shows up the way that I want him to in Christmas, between expectations and family and wonderful things that happen. I need hope. But I need biblical hope. I don't need more wishful thinking. I have plenty of that. I need a reminder of who our hope is. Not just what I want him to give me or accomplish for me, but simply who he is. I need the eternal perspective of our living hope. How about you? So as I sit in the parking lot, getting ready to run in and grab a few things so that my crazy household at home can have what they need, I need to spend a couple minutes with you in Isaiah 11, looking at our hope, Jesus Christ. Very interesting. The book of Isaiah has what's called four prophetic mountains. Isaiah is speaking to his original audience, the time in the southern kingdom of Judah's lifetime. He speaks. The second prophetic mountain is in the coming Babylonian captivity that's going to happen a little over 100 years after the time of Isaiah. Then the third prophetic mountain is the first coming of Christ, when Christ comes as the suffering servant, the one who's going to lay down his life for his sheep. And then the fourth prophetic mountain has not happened yet. That's the second coming of Christ, where Christ will come to judge and rule and reign, and the kingdoms of this earth will bow before him. It's interesting in Isaiah 11 because both the first coming and the second coming of Christ are referenced. The first three verses, I believe, are really hitting hard the first coming of Christ, and from 4 to 10 is the hope that we have of his second coming. So look with me, because honestly, I need this hope. I need this hope every single day, but I need it today in the parking lot of Kmart. I need to have a bigger picture of who my living hope is and what he has accomplished. So look with me, please, in Isaiah 11, verse 1. Then a shoot will spring from the stem of Jesse, and a branch from his roots will bear fruit. That's talking about Jesus being of the house of David, who is of the house of Jesse, that Jesus is of the kingly line, and this tender shoot, Jesus born of a woman as a baby, born underneath the perfected requirements of God, which is perfection on every level. Jesus is that branch. Now catch this. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and strength, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. Verse 3. And he, that is Christ, will delight in the fear of the Lord. Jesus will delight to walk 100% by faith. That will work itself out and worked itself out in 100% obedience and reverential fear, trust, and obedience to the Lord our God, fulfilling the perfect requirements of relationship with God on every single level. And then he will willingly lay down his life, and the wrath and the punishment of God will pour upon him. And he died, and he was buried, and he raised from the dead, because the work is finished. Isaiah is prophesying about this hundreds, 1,000 years before the time of Christ. And this is what he says. Not only will Jesus delight in the fear of the Lord, and he will not judge by what his eyes see, nor make a decision by what his ears hear. Do you know what Jesus said in John chapter 3? For God, we know this verse, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whosoever should believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to judge the world, but that the world might be saved through him. He who believes in him is not judged. He who does not believe in him has been judged already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. Jesus did not judge in his first coming what he saw and what he heard, because he did not come to judge. He came to save. Oh, my sisters, do you know what that gives us in this time? Such great hope, such great grace, such amazing love for the one who loved us first. The stem of Jesse, the one who did all of the work and accomplished our redemption. But Isaiah goes on, because these prophetic mountains are side by side here. The first coming of Jesus accomplished that, but the second coming of Christ, he's coming to judge. And that's what Isaiah goes on to say. But with righteousness he will judge the poor and decide with fairness for the afflicted of the earth. And he will strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he will slay the wicked. Also, righteousness will be the belt about his loins, and faithfulness the belt about his waist. And the wolf will dwell with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the young goat, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little boy will lead them. Also the cow and the bear will graze, their young will lie down together, and the lion will eat straw like an ox. The nursing child will play by the hole of a cobra, and the weaned child will put his hand on the viper's den. They will not hurt or destroy in all of my holy mountain, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of God as the water covers the sea. Then, in that day that is going to come, the nations will resort to the root of Jesse, who will stand as a signal, as a sign, as a banner for all the people, and his resting place will be glorious. Spiritually speaking, that has happened, and he is high and lifted up, and we are called into the peace and the grace of his kingdom. But one day, our faith will be made sight, and this will take place, and that is great amounts of hope, great amounts of eternal perspective, great amounts of love and grace in this crazy busy time, where I easily lose sight of my true hope and my true faith. And we're called to back up, to sit still, be quiet, be still, and know he is God. And Jesus is our living hope. I hope that encourages you today. I hope that meets you, maybe in your busy, crazy day, or maybe in a quiet day, to remember Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And he is our living hope. He is the branch and the vine that we are called to rest and abide in all the days until our faith is made sight. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. Have a fantastic day and a very, very Merry Christmas.